Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to the Shrewsbury Biscuit podcast. I'm your host, Alex Whiteley. Do you know what? I took like an out breath just as I was about to say that, so it came out. I was, hey guys, welcome to the I'm Alex Whiteley, and joined with me today is my co-host Shane Hinton, Biscuit Bros for life, bro.
Biscuit Bros for life. You all right?
Nice. Yeah. Today I'm sponsored by beer.
Have you turned your mic on, Al?
Yes. Yeah. Can you hear me? Okay.
You sound beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, right. Okay. So I've got to explain. We're joined by Ed Ryder and very soon Sean Horgan from the short film Country Lines. And we did this interview last week, didn't we, Ed? Yeah, we did. And so what happens is, right, StreamYard and Zoom and everything else all has different settings, and sometimes when you use one setting from one thing and then go back to the other, it'll reset. Shane's had this problem with Zoom before, going from Zoom to StreamYard. I'm supposed to be the expert, the guy, the Don, the daddy, you know? I'm supposed to know what I'm doing. I forgot to switch microphones, and so not just the interview I did with Ed and Sean, but the interview I did with the High Sheriff, and the interview I did with Reach. Rob Hughes from Reach. So 3 of my interviews were thwarted by me not making sure my microphone was on. So we have to redo this.
Sean,
hi, Sean. Hello.
How's it going? You're right.
Hello. Hello, Poppy.
So this is Sean. He's joining us. I was just explaining my mishap with the microphones, Sean, and why we're doing this.
Sean, have you just woke up? Because it looks like you've just woken up.
No, my nan's downstairs on the porch talking to my girlfriend. I've had to relocate upstairs. I'm trying to find somewhere to go. I do apologise.
We've got plenty to talk about this episode. There's a few issues. We get given these press releases, right, which are really interesting facts about what's going on throughout the town. Excuse me, but I don't know what to do with them. Because our social media is very much like what we're doing, things like that. I don't know how to just like put them things on social media, so I thought we'll read them out at the end of the show. So we've got a few things to talk about, but for now, let's introduce our guests, Ed and Sean. How are you, gents? Are you good? Are you all right today?
I'm just enjoying seeing Sean getting ready. Does he realise that he's live?
Yeah.
The cameras aren't live, are they?
For it.
Oh yeah, this is live on Facebook.
Yeah. Say hello to our fans.
Hi guys.
I love
mate.
this.
You okay? You sorted?
I'm right. How awkward that I've got this little bit of hair on the side of my head that won't go down.
Oh yeah.
We don't get that problem.
Yeah, we'll share.
Okay. I'll just try and style it out. There we go.
Just run
okay.
with it.
So
go with it.
If you guys haven't seen it, make sure you go and look for it after this show, or I'll forgive you for him going away and watching a little bit of it now. But no, wait till after this episode. I nearly swore then. Country Lines is a very fun short movie. I found it on the Shropshire Investigates Facebook page. It popped up one day. I looked at it, and it's one of the most charming things I've seen. It really did charm the heck out of me. It's a short film comedy mocumentary, I think you'd call it, based in Wem, about moped crimes that are going on. It's brilliant. And Ed, you wrote this and directed it. Is that right?
Yeah, I wrote this, Mother. Yeah, it's yes, it came about from a show, an actual documentary, which was very similar but not quite as funny. And I don't know. There's so many documentaries out these days, like week after week, just absolutely pile them out, don't they? And so I just like seeing the random ones, which are kind of like not as good, and then they kind of give you a little bit of creative spark to make a mockumentary out of them, which I was looking to do at the time. And it just came from a moped crime documentary, which obviously was supposed to be serious, but there's so many elements to it which were just odd and like a bit funny. Like, you know, the main character in it was basically came across like she had a love interest in one of the moped crime boys, and it was just like various locals kept popping up and coming out with this crazy talk, and it just made me think, okay, we can do something with this. And then obviously I thought, let's just set it in Wem. It just sounds right. So that's kind of what happened, really. it's got a bit crazier from there. But yeah.
Of all places to choose, why when?
I was just about to say that. I was just about to say why when.
Well, I went to school there, so I've got a bit of an angle on the place, and it's I don't know. I suppose the school thing was a big thing for me, and I kind of know it inside out, so to speak. And yeah, I've always liked the idea of stuff that goes on in the city coming to the countryside, and just what happens when they mix. And there's a character I've been working on for years who's kind of a city entrepreneur who's like a bit of an idiot who like comes to the countryside, takes over his father's farm, and then just starts doing all this sort of city stuff that's not working at all. And yeah, I just like the idea of the two worlds mixing, really, urban and rural.
It reminds me of Hot Fuzz. You know, it's got a bit of element about that.
Yeah.
But I was saying to you last week that the reason I love this is because there is an element of comedy that's sort of missing from TV these days that I certainly grew up on. Maybe Shane, he's a little bit younger than me. And that's things like Fast Show and Harry Enfield and those sort of sketch shows that have a very short but gripping but brilliant sort of explosive comedy element to them, and you don't really see that as much anymore, and I feel like there's a massive gap there just to try and reel people back into watching things like that.
Yeah, definitely. And I've been pestering Sean with little videos on I found on Twitter and Instagram and stuff. It seems to be getting a little bit more popular, and people are really starting to get some some followers basically from really good little short videos. And I'm talking like even obviously a lot shorter than our film is 11 minutes. It seems to be like if you've got like a little snippy idea, I think we've all had them every day when we're walking around, and we just sort of frame this particular humorous situation, and like it's just literally like a few seconds. And just pad that out, all of a sudden you've got like a 2-minute sketch, and that's basically what people are doing, I think. And it's certainly because like the beauty of the Fast Show is that if you didn't like it, you just wait 2 minutes or less, and then someone else pops up, which is completely different.
I'm considerably richer than Yao.
Far richer than Yao.
What was the one with that guy who just kept running off? Do you remember that? Or was that the First Show? He just kept running off all the time and go, come on, and just running. I thought, yeah, it's just so right.
Oh, suits you. Oh, yes, it does, rather.
Oh, yeah. Suit you the front, sir. Suit you the back, sir.
Sean, we've given you a few minutes to sort of acclimatise to things and put your hair down and get your breath a little bit.
It won't go down. I've never had this tough in my life.
Oh, you're a beautiful-looking guy, so don't worry about that. A little tough to hair. Don't worry about it. We're very privileged to have you here on the show today. Let's talk a bit about you and what it is you add to this. So, want to introduce yourself and what you do?
So I act in Country Lines. I play the part of Bry. Away from acting in comedy shorts, I do a bit of stand-up, and also I write sketches myself. So, that's me.
Bry is a fantastic character that should be embraced and loved and sent out into the world, and just it's like I love stupidity in things. Really simple, stupid, but very clever humour. And there's a scene in Country Lines where the interviewer walks in and Bry's like, want a wagon wheel, a Fanta?
He does it twice. He does it twice in the short. He does it, he does it twice.
I know.
Both times I laughed. Want a wagon wheel?
I keep saying it to Ed. I think Bry's a great character. Maybe something can happen with him in the future. Who knows?
Chronicles of Bry.
Who knows? But
yes.
because I grew up in London and I moved to Shropshire, so I'm not naturally. I've never driven a tractor before until I met Ed, but it come quite naturally just meeting people around here, trying to adopt little things that they do, and he was a lot of fun to play. I think if the opportunity come to play Bry again, I'd definitely take it.
Nice.
What was it like getting the hang of the accent?
Well, I've lived here for 16 years, and I've got friends. I hate to say it, I'm not going to mention any names, but Bry is some of my friends. Lads I played rugby with, lads I've gone to school with. All right, man. Like, I know.
How do you, man?
I won't mention any names, but yeah, I've definitely seen those guys. So it's quite nice to sort of just play them, I guess.
Well, last time we spoke, guys, we were talking about improv and stuff because you said that Ed, there was a lot of things in Country Lines that was improvised, and here's a point from A to B. We've got to go there. Let's just have some fun, and a lot of it worked in what you did. We got to recap over that and how it is. How difficult is it to write something that involves a lot of improv, or is it a case of I've got a script, I don't mind if people sort of merge away from the original text? Is that how it is?
Yeah, basically, I think different writers are different ways. There's certain shows, I think Friends, for example, which is just like, that's what I've written, that's what we're going to say. And you know, to be fair, obviously it works, you know, they've had a bit of success out of it, for the back of it. But other shows are on the other side, and it's just kind of like a bit of a mashup, really. And, you know, things like This Country, for example, or People Just Do Nothing, which I said very posh then. People just do nothing. People just do nothing, which are like just all the cast getting together and just like chatting the lines through, seeing what works, and just being very like open about it. I prefer that side of things, but I think you've got to get to that point first. You know, you've got to, like, we had 3 quite long rehearsal dates with the characters and the actors, sorry, and it was only by the probably end of the second one and the third one where I think the actors were like confident enough and like confident enough basically in their own character and their own views to be able to like really start to kind of hit those sweet spots without sounding too odd. But so, and that's when the kind of magic starts to happen a little bit, and you start to see them kind of taking on their own life a little bit, the characters. And
I was
yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I was thinking this the other day when you said about the improv, and it's something I wanted to say back when we spoke first time. But yeah, improv is great, but the rules of improv come from good writing. So Ed, from the time we sent the screen tape off, he had an idea and he'd written about what Bry wanted to be. So the guidelines are there to then go off, and you wouldn't have had that without the writing in place at the first time round. So if Ed didn't write down what he thought the character was, you wouldn't be able to go off and play with it. And like we said, improv is play. And if you can't, you know, every game has rules, and we was able to have fun and work out who he was because the groundwork was there of what type of character he was going to be. That all come from Ed's writing.
And also, I mean, it's nice to add a bit of you into it as well, isn't it? I mean, like...
Yeah, cheers, mate.
Yeah, because, you know, you can say, oh, he's a simple guy, a little bit sensitive, he's trying to show up for the crowd sort of thing, you know.
You reckon that's me, Alex?
You've got... yeah, that's me. And me and Shane have had a bit of experience with that because we work with some wonderful people at the prison, and we have them for a while during prison break, the Halloween park that they run there. And a shout out to all the our prison family, by the way. You're all amazing. And you know, we have that. We have like breadcrumbs. You have like, okay, so you're this character. You've got to do this, and this. There's no script. Off you go. But it's more to it than that because they're brilliant at what they do. But like, you know, it's fun.
You do kind of adopt that role, don't you? You kind of just become that role, and you just sort of you do it off the top of the head. You know, especially when it comes to immersive stuff, it is very much sort of you have to be snappy.
Yeah, I remember one of the first things that Ed was saying is that like Bry wants people to like him. He wants the Tom's character Myth to like him, and obviously Amber's there, this new person, Victoria. He wants them to like him.
Want a wagon wheel?
Yeah, when you're doing that, when you're saying like, yeah, exactly. You get a feeling for it, so you know how he's going to say it. You know how he's going to ask it because you know that he wants them desperately. He's not really aware of the situation, and he wants them to like him, and that comes from the writing. I think improv's fun, but that does come from the writing.
Absolutely. You know, I love what we do at the prison, and
the vast majority.
I think there's a bit of a network lag.
Yeah, I think so.
Your internet's not very good.
A lot of the
shows
that come out.
Give it a shake.
Oh, is it me?
Yeah.
Are you on Wi-Fi? Have you have the possibility to maybe switch to 4G? Sometimes that helps.
My bad. I have to open the door.
Open the door. Stick your tongue out. It might help.
Oh, okay. I thought I opened the.
We used to have a house like that where you have to go and stand in the corner, and, hold your foot to the sky.
That's it, and then put your foot behind your head, and then stick your tongue in your cheek, and then
that's a very Shropshire problem, isn't it? Because the houses are so old and stuff. The walls are so thick that you lose signal here and there.
You say that, Sean, right? Because I run London and Kent for work, and generally find that there's so many black spots in London and Kent. Either that or my guys just don't actually want to talk to me, and they're just deliberately turn the phone off. But
excuse.
but it is terrible in London because of all the high rise buildings and stuff. You know, it's. It
looks like I've got Ed back. There we go.
Back, Ed.
Hey, I've been trying to make this point about 3 or 4 times now. I'm going to nail it this time.
Are you good now? You good?
Nobody move.
Yeah,
natural.
I think so. Yeah, I was just. Oh dear. Hang on. Let me just make a couple of changes. 2 seconds. Talk amongst yourselves, guys. Let me see what we can do.
Okay, so when we talk about this program, this film, and what this is, we were talking about how sometimes things can become a parody of themselves, and the example I gave was British newsreaders talking about the Beastie Boys coming to the UK. It's one of the most amazing bits of footage you'll ever see. And there's these straight-faced, big glasses guys sat there in front of the camera like, these are the scariest hip-hop group in the world. They trash hotel rooms, and they're coming to the UK. And they're like getting so scared about the Beastie Boys coming over. If you go and find that footage, Google it, try and find it. It's one of the most deadpan, ridiculous things you'll ever see, and it's not meant to be as comedy, but it becomes almost like this historical bit of just art because
it's like satirical, isn't it? It's satire, it's tongue in cheek, you know.
And I think that's where a mockumentary sort of sits. It's kind of like it tickles reality a little bit, you know. It's kind of like, oh, I recognise this. I recognise the model of this, and that's what I got from Country Lines. You know, it's got that sort of. And we're here in Wem today. You know, that's straight away. You're like, oh yeah, I've seen this on ITV before. You know.
Let's look at Shrewsbury itself, like from an outsider's point of view. If you look at the Shrewsbury, you've got like an English bridge and a Welsh bridge. So immediately, people from outside in are going to think, well, everyone on the Welsh side of the bridge is going to be talking in the Welsh accent. You know, like we're quite lucky in Shropshire that, from an outsider's point of view, that there's so many things that we take for granted that could be quite funny. Maybe that's something that's worth looking into.
Let's not tell him about Rope Lane then.
Because I want to ask him about the feedback of this. By the way, guys, if you're watching this, get in the comments. If you've seen this video, this film, should I say, and you want to throw in some comments, ask some questions, please feel free to do so. Ed's muted at the moment. I mean, like, StreamYard hates the Shrewsbury Biscuit. The boat must. Can I unmute Ed? Is he right?
Ed looks like a hostage.
Yeah.
We will pay the ransom to get you back, Ed.
I think he sat on the landing. So he needs signal.
Right, sorry about
that. He actually does.
Can we hear you, Ed? Let's give Ed a bit of a run up. Come on.
Okay, I'm good. Yeah, hello.
Do you want to make that point, Ed?
Can you hear me?
You're back now.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, the vast majority of films and TV episodes, comedy-wise, they'll follow a certain structure that's worked in the past, like a relationship between the characters. And Bry and Myth, the two main characters in the short film Country Lines, are basically based on People Just Do Nothing. If people have seen that on BBC Three, it's quite a big hit on iPlayer. and so their relationship and Country Lines was basically based on that, with the kind of sort of dopier one, no offense, Sean, dopier one sort of looking up to the kind of slightly more successful one in his own way. And just that kind of power struggle, basically, of Sean's character always trying to be liked, and kind of working for that all the time, and happy to be trod on, just as long as it means that he's close to his little buddy. So you can basically take those structures and just put in, a new location, a new person, a new set of personality traits, but the structure's already there, so it's really helpful just to follow it, I found.
That structure allows you, I suppose, to create the humour from their faults. So,
yeah, it's is this typical of you, Ed? Is this the kind of thing you like to write, or is it a mixture of genres?
I think this one, basically. I mean, I was talking about sort of finer details, but let's take a step back then for a minute. Basically, mockumentaries I'm really keen on. I like that that kind of little gap between reality and comedy. As I say, that that point when you're sort of sitting back at a meeting and just thinking this is a bit weird and this is quite funny actually. Just as I say, there's a few inches, and that's what you get mockumentary, a little bit of space. But it is tricky because I think looking back, the start of the film I think is a little bit too serious. Perhaps if I was to make some change, I'd probably put a few more jokes in, but it is tricky because then all of a sudden it becomes a bit too slapstick, and then you're kind of losing what you're looking for. So it's quite a fine line, I think, to tread. But to answer your question, I'm interested in mockumentaries. They kind of allow you to I also wanted it to be something interesting. I like the idea of comedy being based in an interesting situation. I'm not really one for blokes sat around in a flat just chatting about fart jokes or whatever. I quite want to find out about underground cultures and be based in interesting settings. So that's another thing I wanted to do.
I think it's something really interesting.
I was waiting to get the beer in your mouth before I stop talking.
I need it today. It's been one of those days, honestly. Do you ever wake up in just enter clumsy mode as soon as you get out of bed? It's been the clumsiest day for me. I feel like I've dropped a few IQ points and just been a complete idiot all day. And tomorrow I'll be in the groove, making sure. What are you going to say, Shane?
That was not what I thought you were going to say. I thought you were going to say, do you ever wake up and just think, I could just do with a bottle of beer? And I was like, do you need some help? Are you okay?
We're not there yet, Shane. Screw society.
You only didn't. You only forgot to turn your mic on, mate. You didn't need to go that far. All right, just chill.
Three shows are ruined because of it.
Alex, have you got us all together just for an excuse for you to have a drink?
Oh no, I'm doing you suck later. I don't. Yeah, okay. Don't worry about it. It's this just gives me a bit more of a run up. Ed, are you currently working on anything that's linked with this, or have you got other projects lined up that you've been trying to, or maybe lockdown's giving you a bit of time to write things? And we'll throw the same question to Sean afterwards.
Yeah, I've been kind of playing around with what to do next. So it's quite precious about it. I don't know what's the matter with me, but I'm considering either doing something a number of short pieces. I've just been talking to Sean about literally, sort of 2 minutes, and it's really simple stuff like this, talking to camera and trying out characters and stuff, which I think is really helpful for putting flesh on the bones of characters that you want to explore more. So that's kind of one thing that I want to look at, and also just exploring bigger ideas. So sort of another short film, but it was quite a long process last time. Nothing against, it wasn't anyone's fault. Obviously, we had the pandemic, which is still lingering, and so it did take a long time. But so that's why I'm a bit more attracted to the shorter stuff. But to answer your question, I've got a few characters that I want to kind of explore, which maybe short form or maybe a slightly more longer. We'll see. I think I'll be tapping on Sean's door and a couple of others just to try and help me figure those characters out a bit more, and then go from there, I think.
Nice.
I'd be well up for that. Myself, I'm always trying to write stand up because I think stand up's quite. It's there. It's rewarding. You can perform and you find out if something's funny or not because people laugh or they don't. But this time last year, I had an idea for something that I've been thinking about it today. And I actually wanted to talk about it to Ed about this. So it's quite nice to be able to talk about it now. Last year, I had the idea for a bit of a dramedy series, sort of in the vein of Afterlife. So it'd have to be just a spec script that's pitched. But it was kind of about a group of people trying to learn stand-up comedy like they do courses. And I was thinking about when I first did a stand-up course, the amount of different characters. We had like guys who'd just been recently divorced. We had like these ultra feminist young girls who wanted to come up and be funny and tell their stories. And I thought that's such a melting pot. And today, whilst at work, I was like, I should really talk to Ed and thrash this idea out. So yeah, that's something that I'll probably do after this podcast.
Nice.
Yeah, I think I will.
Join us, guys, for take number 3 of this interview. We'll do this.
I think I'm
Ed, are you working on Wi-Fi or on 4G?
I tried the 4G and it
didn't work.
Was
okay. Words and stuff.
So I'm just right about here.
Okay.
How's that looking for you?
We can hear you better, but it's just we can see your shoulder. It's a great shoulder because you're wearing orange as well. It definitely looks like you're in a jumpsuit, like you are in full hostage situation.
He's obsessed with this. Where's the ransom? Yes. That looks better, actually, Ed. That does look a lot better. Whatever you're doing there, don't move. Okay. I feel like we could do with like an improv centre here in Shrewsbury.
Sat on the Wi-Fi box.
You don't move. You're looking great. I feel like we could do with somewhere where people can have the license to go and play with characters on stage without having to bring out the cameras and make something to develop characters. Just somewhere we can go and play. Because I would love to work on improv. We've got this 24-hour podcast challenge I'm doing in September. I'd love to do an hour of improv, get some proper improv stars on, and have some fun. Because I feel like
we have to get Winter on, mate. We have to get
Winter. Would be great. Yeah.
I did an improv course with Fat Penguin in Birmingham. It was great fun. They're called Fat Penguin. That's not a joke. They do great improv courses to anyone who lives over that way. But yeah, I'd be up for that. It'd be great fun.
Mm. Yeah.
There used to be a Shrewsbury comedy, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. I think they used to operate in the upstairs room at the OPO. I think
your post office.
Yeah, that was one of the venues, wasn't it? I think they had a few. There's a lady called Beth run it. I'm not sure if it's a thing.
I don't know.
I think the Tudor House as well. Is it Henry Tudor House up on the Cop? They do a lot of comedy as well.
That's the old Line and Tap, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're a guy's not born to open, buddy. This is why we do this thing. What's the feedback been like? Then Ed, what have people been saying about this? Have you had a lot of positive feedback about Country Lines and what you're doing?
Yeah, we've done a few bits and bobs. So obviously, thanks to you guys and Radio Shropshire and a few other things going on. But I've actually got a message in the inbox a couple of days ago from a chap that runs a Canadian comedy film festival who was like, "Oh, I saw your video, really liked it. I really think you should buy." And he was saying some specifics, so I kind of knew that you had actually watched it, which was good. Yes, and I think, do you know what? I think it's just getting in front of the right people, really, because it is difficult to do that, and I kind of always find it a bit of a handicap, is that the right word? Like living in Shropshire and trying to meet people in the industry. So I am keen to be sort of based around here and kind of reap the rewards of all the rich, funny personalities around here. Yeah, but it does mean that there aren't so many people in the industry in the county. So I'm just trying to do obviously things like this and other bits and bobs just to try and fish out those producers and TV people that are around. Like for example, there's a lady I met online the other day. It's not as dodgy as it sounds, and she's saying that Like she's based in Shrewsbury, and she won some awards at like Cannes Film Festival. And she was like, "Yeah, I can. We should meet up. I can help." And I was like, "Okay, brilliant." So I know that people are around. So it's just a matter of like, just keep going and see who's about.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Sometimes I always say about the Shrewsbury Biscuit, like I like to hire a B-52 bomber, fill out a bunch of pamphlets of just posters and stuff, all Shrewsbury Biscuit, and just bomb the whole town with all these leaflets. We exist. Like people won't like us, but at least they'll know what we're about.
Put the beer down, mate. You've had enough beer, I think.
It's true though. I mean, marketing is a science that it's not been perfected yet. Like, how do you tell people you're here? And stand out from the noise, because it's difficult. There are people that are good at it and they can help you, but even then, it's not necessarily guaranteed. It's not an easy thing. And when you have aspirations like you, Ed, and you need the people to sort of help you develop these ideas, it must be quite frustrating, especially being in such a I guess we can call Shropshire kind of rural. I know we've got kind of like biggish towns, but compared to places like London, Birmingham, big cities, difficult.
Yeah.
I was quite affected by the idea of like putting Shropshire on the map to some respects, and that's why I've done like Shropshire Investigates as the kind of faux like holding company of the various little mockumentaries that I've done. And Wem, I wanted to make a point of it being set in Wem because it is a bit random, and I think people like that. And I think shows like obviously Alan Partridge was very much based in Norwich, and I think that kind of worked in his favour, that it was sort of rural and not many people knew about it. And so I think, why can't we sort of do the same for Shropshire in a comedy sense? Make something of it, and in that sense. So we'll sort of see how we go. I've kind of lost the point of what I was saying, what the question was, but there you go.
It's been that kind of show, Ed.
I think you're onto something though, Ed, there, because it doesn't matter if it's rural or city. I think a lot of good comedy shows just play to where. So if you look at Phoenix Nights, like that just plays the area and the characters around the club that they all use. And the same with People Just Do Nothing. I know it's based in Brentford, but I suppose the location gives you your characters and gives you your storylines, and it could be anywhere. I don't think you necessarily have to be in London for it to work.
Ned Dupree, who was from Balls of Steel, he's a great guy.
I think people like to have a look in the stand.
Sorry, Ed, I didn't mean to cut you off there. There's a bit of a delay. Do you guys know who Ned is? Ned Dupree, who's a cowboy hat, Balls of Steel. He's doing a lot of these. They're not mockumentaries. They're not. What they are is they are fake sort of arguments on Facebook. There's one where it was like the guy was almost a very Bry type character, like a Just Eat driver, and the guy was like, "You've eaten my pizza," and he goes to the window, and they're having this argument. And then just label it as delivery guy eats pizza, and people think it's real, right? And it's reality. It's like these things are happening anyway. Let's have some fun and play. And there was another one where a guy sat at the park, same character, but you can't see his face. He's eating a Big Mac, and this girl comes and sits next to him. She's a vegan. She's like, "Oh, you're so cruel eating beef," And they started having this argument. And it's like vegan versus carnivore. Brilliant. You tapped into like the Phoenix Nights thing. There are so many people that are attached to that sort of ideals. Those ideals, and People Do Nothing is very similar too. It's nice to be able to just find those. I think you got to be a genius to get that, and I think, Ed, you've got that kind of. Yeah. You're looking at things, and you kind of like, what is hot right now?
Come on.
Mockumentaries. You got there. You did that, and I feel like there's room. I can remember.
I think it was Ricky Gervais actually that said that so a lot of the things that he makes jokes about. The subjects aren't funny. The stuff that he's taking the mickey out are not funny, but the fact that you're taking the mickey out of them is funny, if that makes sense. He said, and when you get that perspective on stuff, then all of a sudden comedy starts making a lot more sense.
How about that? Ed, do you want to tell people, or try, and tell people where they can...
Specifics as well,
I love this so much. This is a.
Oh, I'll tell you in about 5 minutes' time.
I'm gonna cry.
It's literally.
I know. I see it.
I'm right here in the action.
I know.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I love this because this is perfect, because what have we all been doing during lockdown? We've all been on Zoom, on StreamYard, on Skype, whatever it is you've been using, and this in itself is like a parody of lockdown. This is like, hold on a sec, this is how we've all been living over the last year. This is brilliant. I love it.
This is actually our next piece. It's a performance art piece. Ed's internet's fine. He's currently acting the role. He lives in the countryside with bad internet, and it's been experimental, but I think it's working.
Who's in a hostage situation?
Yeah,
on dial-up.
And the whole thing of Sean turning up with his hair like that, going, "Are we live?"
Yes.
Brilliant, guys. Fantastic. Great job. I mean, I think this is fantastic. Ed, genius. Absolute genius. And, I take it there was no script for this. All improv.
Plot twist. Sean's actually Bri, and Sean's actually the acting character.
I love this. Ed, where can people find you, mate? Where can people find Country Lines?
Let me go for a lie down. Hold on.
It's officially a website, Ryder.com. And you can see the video there and a couple of other bits that I've done, which may or may not tickle you. So basically just go there or go onto YouTube and type in Country Lines.
Amazing. Please watch it, guys. It is very good. It's very funny. Bri, is there anything you're working on you want to tell people about?
I've got all my sketch stuff on Facebook on Defini. It's DEFINI. And I got my Instagram, my Twitter, if you want to have a look at that, Sean Horgan 1. I often post little things from my stand-up and jokes I've written. So, yeah.
Cool. Amazing. Make sure you give these guys some love. I feel like, Ed, there is something inside you that I feel like we need to see more. Okay, that sounds wrong, but you know what I mean. Ed is brilliant, and hopefully one day what we can do is I want to start taking out, because we usually do these things called open studio sessions, right? And we start doing them over Zoom. It's 7 sort of podcasts in one day, and we do. Hour by hour. I want to start taking that into the community, start doing a bit more out in town, in places we want to do one at the market hall. I've got an idea to doing one that I need to ask permission for first before I can sort of announce it. But lots of great ideas. So maybe we can get Ed locally in front of a microphone where we can actually speak to without any internet problems. Bless you. I know how it feels. I lived like that for a year. It was awful. But if you don't mind, I've got a couple of press releases just to read through. This one here is from Shropshire Festivals, and it's about the Tasty Trail. I don't know if you've heard about this. They have so many great initiatives over at Shropshire Festivals, and this one is they have decided to release tickets for an event that mixes locally produced food and drink with an 8-mile walk near Shrewsbury on May the 23rd, 2021. The Shropshire Tasty Trail aims to leave muddy footprints, not carbon footprints, with organisers sourcing food and drink locally to keep food miles to a minimum. The 8-mile walk will include 3 stop-offs where walkers will enjoy a different course. This event was originally planned for May 2020, but was unable to go ahead during the pandemic. Current COVID guidelines will allow the event to go ahead in May this year. However, the previous route with indoor stop-offs have been exchanged for a fully outdoor, COVID-safe option, with the trail now starting in Upton Magna Village Hall car park. The trail is limited to only 600 places, which will need to be registered for in advance. Beth Heath, we all love Beth Heath. She's awesome. There she is. Yeah, there she is. She's amazing. director of fun at Shropshire Festivals, reveals what to expect from the Shropshire Tasty Trail. Come on a journey. It's not short; it's 8 miles. Come on a journey you won't forget if you love walking in great outdoors, socialising with loved ones, eating and drinking delicious produce, and supporting local businesses. Then this event is perfect for you. So this is on the 23rd of May. Tickets are £29.50 per person, but that includes admittance to the walk, a 3-mile course along the trail, and a different alcohol drink at each stop, if that's your thing. That's quite cool. 30 quid, 3-course meal with some booze, and, only 600 places though, so make sure you get in there quick. I've only got one more time for one more thing. Performers are needed, she says, from Shropshire Festivals. Shropshire Festivals will be holding a free event in Shrewsbury on Sunday, July the 25th, 2021, to spread some happiness throughout the town. And it's called A Mile of Smiles. It will take visitors on a walk through Shrewsbury, where performers and acts will be asked with generating smiles along the way. The events company, Ed, this might be good for you. The event company are seeking out performers, entertainers, musicians, and acts to put themselves forward for the event. Not only will the event generate some long-awaited fun in the town, but also aims to entice visitors back into Shrewsbury to support performers who have had a challenging time during the pandemic. The mile will finish at Shrewsbury Quarry, where local acts, theatre groups and musicians will be performing on a live stage. So make sure, if you want to get involved, contact Beth at shropshirefestivals.co.uk.
That'd be one for you, Sean.
Possibly, yeah. Will they take Bridgnorthians?
Take what?
Bridgnorthians.
We
don't talk about Bridgnorth, if I'm honest, mate. I wouldn't admit that. I'll just keep that on the down low if I was you.
No. I'm only joking. It's Bridgnorth's a great town. I've been there drinking a few times. I've always had a good night.
It is actually nice. I like Bridgnorth.
You're welcome back anytime, Alex.
Thank you. Not you, Shane. What's the Wi-Fi like in Bridgnorth, Sean?
It's a lot better than Ed's.
Bless him. He's probably like, I hate these guys. I'm never coming on this show again. Doesn't record the first show. Takes the mickey out of me all the way through his live show. Oh, bless him. I want to tell you guys as well about, we've got on the 29th of September, we have a 24-hour podcast challenge that I'm going to be doing to coincide with a International World Podcast Day, International Podcast Day. The organisers of International Podcast Day in LA are aware of what I'm doing for this event, and they're very excited. I'm going to try and raise as much money as I can for Lincoln Davis. They're involved too. I've got a meeting on Friday to try and sort of, things are moving fast. I come up with this idea, got involved with the right people, things are moving 90 miles an hour. We have the basis of what could be something great. I spoke to a guy called Jeff Hyman last night, who is he's a talent agent in New York. He's worked with the likes of Kevin Smith and Ming Chen from Comic Book Men, amongst many other people. He's got the Baha Men on his Who Let the Dogs Out. Anyway, he's going to help us out with a few acts to come and join us. We want an hour of comedy, an hour of improv. We want to speak to great people, celebrities, local people for this. Make sure you get involved if you can. It's going to be real fun. So that's going to happen on the 29th of September, right through 9 o'clock on the 29th, right through to 9 o'clock in the morning on the 30th of September. It's going to be insane. Live like this, all the way through. It's going to be hairy. Shane, have you got anything to add?
No. I'm just, I'm waiting to see the next feature of Ed. I am. I
can't wait to see what Ed's got next coming up.
What he pulls out of his sleeve. Or his tractor, Like.
He's just like, yes. Tomorrow, I'm going to be in Castlefields tomorrow. I'm meeting with Claire from Lovely Land. We're going to go for a walk.
Not talk anymore. So I know you'll probably get it by the time you clocked off and no one's listening.
I love it. I love it so much. Ed, you're great. I think you've been a really good sport because we've just poked fun at you all day.
I think would have cried at this point if it was you.
And I have at this point because I lived like this for a year. Bad internet like this. Tomorrow, yes, I'm in Castlefields. I'm going to be walking around with Claire from Lovely Land. I want to find out what they've been up to. They came on our show a couple of years ago. We haven't spoken to them since, so I want to find out what they've been up to, the great things they've been doing around Castlefields. Next week, I'm going to be on the Sabrina boat. We're going to be recording a podcast there. But yes, this has been awesome. I don't know how to end this now. Ed, thank you so much for joining us.
No worries.
Sean, you've been great. I need some stand-up comedians for my 24-hour podcast challenge, so maybe I'll get in touch and we can get something together. Guys, thank you very much for listening. Shane, you've been awesome. Right, let's get out of here. This has been... Right.
Peace out, guys.
Bye.